let me just give you a few subjective opinions about policy. It's a big question on everybody's mind. And it's, should this joint budget super committee that's looking at the overall deficit right now do any Social Security reform? Perhaps disappointing everybody, I'm going to be scrupulously agnostic and non-committal on that point. As a trustee, I try to stay neutral on a lot of these policy questions, but let me take, there's strong arguments that can be made both ways. The reason they should do it is that obviously Social Security needs to be reformed. The sooner it happens, the better, and it's unquestionably part of our bigger budget problem. On the other hand, if you oppose this joint committee taking up Social Security reform, there's very strong arguments for that too. Social Security is a long-term program. I mean, we want it to work within its own bubble, if you will, for the long term. The Joint Budget Committee is trying to meet a 10-year target for deficit reduction. And you might think, this is not really the right environment to deal with Social Security, to make changes to Social Security to help this Joint Committee reach a 10-year budget target. And even though, as I've stated, Social Security is a significant part of our larger deficit problem, we really should approach Social Security separately, with the idea of balancing its own books, and not with respect to hitting any particular target for the general budget. And finally, just taking this on is going to make the super committee's job harder than it is. They've got enough difficult things to do without taking on Social Security reform. So there's arguments that can be made either way. I think clearly the substantive imperative is that we have Social Security reform, that we get it as soon as possible, and it clearly is a big part of our fiscal dilemma. But on the other hand, this might not be the right forum for it. You could argue either way. I'll stay out of the fight. Let me just say that my view is that if putting Social Security reform in with the larger budget discussion helps Social Security reform happen better and sooner, and I'm for that. If separating it makes it happen better and sooner, then I'm for that. If the Joint Committee were to take it up, and if I were asked for recommendations, I would, first of all, do my best to try not to push them in one particular policy direction or the other. But I would strongly caution against continuing the policy of cutting Social Security's payroll tax as a stimulus measure. The payroll tax in Social Security is the program's lifeblood. That's where the program's revenues come from. You cut it, only two things can happen. Either the program goes insolvent earlier, or you have to start propping up the program with general revenues, income tax revenues. And as I said, I think they're both very, very dangerous. It's dangerous to undermine program finances. It's dangerous to support the program from the general fund. And I just have the personal view that we shouldn't be using the Social Security program as a stimulus program. Social Security program, the payroll tax is there to fund Social Security. It's not there to cover for other problems we have elsewhere in the economy. And I'm very, very concerned if the committee decides to embrace proposals on the table to further cut the Social Security payroll tax and fund the more general revenues in the program to compensate for the revenue loss.